There's a pivotal scene in the movie Red Dawn from 1984, if those of you who remember that movie, and if you haven't seen it, go see it this weekend, that sets the plot for the rest of the movie. A high school professor is lecturing his students, and he's talking about the Mongol hordes and how they invaded and won wars. And as he's talking, he looks out the window to see paratroopers slowly descending into the schoolyard. And as he slowly comes to the realization that this isn't a military exercise gone astray, too late he realizes that it's the beginning of World War III and a Soviet invasion. If we were to remake that movie today, 41 years later, it would be a much more boring movie. Because instead of paratroopers dropping all over the United States, we'd have tweets dropping on social media. We'd have Reddit channels going. We'd have all sorts of social media, because the key terrain today is not as much physical as it is virtual. And the key terrain that people are contesting, both in the national security space and in the commercial space, is public opinion. And they're doing that through narratives. And understanding narrative space is really hard. It's a complex, chaotic environment. Understanding what's going on with narratives, predicting them, is very difficult. So we'd like to show you our Argus social product, which will allow you to understand the chaos and predict the narrative.
Thank you, Bill. We'll start out with the video. We're starting with this quote. There's a sense that you may not win a war with information operations like you could with, traditional artillery, but you can certainly lose it if you're not a key part of putting out the messages. And that quote is from General Brian Fenton. Our product is Argus Social. It's an AI-powered narrative intelligence platform that helps you understand the chaos in social media so that you can really control the narrative. It's especially timely right now as so much on social media is rapidly changing. So this video will take a look at how Argus Social tracks and analyzes these narrative insights that provide an asymmetric advantage when it comes to the information environment. So what I love so much about this product is that we intentionally move from the ground up. So right now, you're seeing that the most granular level of analysis is this post. And Argus, the product, is equipped with multiple AI models, one of which is called the video vision model, which looks at a post just like a human would. Most posts online are not just text, they're video, they're images. And so the video vision model is going into these posts. It is looking at actions, looking at the soldiers, saying that there's artillery use, and even transcribing and translating audio, even if it's foreign language. Our users, they can go to see the original post or, bookmark the post for reference. So you're probably thinking, where do all these posts in the product come from? In Argus, you create a network of social media sources. X, Telegram, Reddit, all kinds of these platforms we're gathering them from. But we call this network an agent because it's really your AI assistant. What you're doing here is you're going to encode your knowledge and your goals into the agent to specify things like the type of narratives you're interested in, like local perceptions of the United States. And that agent is going to take this information and grow over time, grow your network. So as it's accumulating sources every single day, all these posts every single day, it's going to reach out through social media and say, hey, these are these new accounts you want to add that are talking about the conversations that you're interested in. The networks are dynamic. Your network isn't just limited to accounts either. It's not just going to be Instagram accounts, but the agent's going to go out and look for certain hashtags that your local community might be using, popular sounds, trending sounds, short phrases, all these other types of groups and subreddits, just so you can find exactly where those conversations you're interested in are stretching to. Now, as you can imagine, that's a lot of data, a lot of sources, a lot of posts coming in, a lot of videos coming in, all of that. So what Nebula Social does is we have our other AI models, one of which is the narrative engine, which simplifies the noise. We'll go into that right here. So what we do is we group all these social media posts, all this noise, into the comprehensive and discrete conversations that are happening. For example, discussions on military readiness in the Indo-Pacific. But your network is big, you might have another about local sports. Because in Argus social networks, no post is overlooked. No context is lost, no unknown unknowns, basically. We measure this engagement of these narratives with our attention metric, which tells you how these narratives compete with one another in your network. As we know on social media, attention is very finite. So if there's a narrative about economic panic and a narrative about local elections, we're able to tell you which one's actually dominating the discourse, so you know which one to tap into, which one's going to get the most traction, what you should care about, because it's what they care about. Then you can go from that 30,000-foot view all the way back down to those granular details like those videos we showed at the top. Every narrative is linking back to the posts that comprise it, so you always know who is driving it, you always know what and who created that message in the first place. So you can see here, going back to those individual posts that are making up a conversation, so it's much simpler for you. Speaking about making it as simple as possible, like I said, the product is an agent, and you can talk to it as well. So the Argus chat is your interface for engaging with the data, which means no coding capabilities are required. What you do is you type directly into the chat. For instance, how does my network perceive multinational military operations? And the agent has code generating capabilities, so it can take your question and crawl through the databases to return you the answer like you're seeing on screen, making that link between your question and the actual data. And as I said before, the agent learns over time. It's going to adapt its responses based on what you're looking for. If you're saying, I prefer certain information about US perceptions, it's going to hone in on that in the future, learning over time. This is our long-term memory capability in the product. Now, beyond analyzing just the data in your network, the agent can also go outside of your network. It comes equipped with 2 extra capabilities, the first being web search, which obfuscates all attribution. And the second being it can talk about what you're seeing in the dashboard. You can ask questions about what's actually going on here. All these chats are private, all the web searches remain non-traceable. So really what this is doing is making sure that everything is in the product. The data and the analysis capabilities are in here, no need to export. You can do it all from the product. Now for more complex questions that go beyond what you can ask in a simple back and forth chat, we have report generation. And this is something that our customers really love because it is taking a report generation, or it's taking a report, something that might take hours to days to compile, and it's really shortening that time. It's taking your question, and the agent's going to transform your question into a plan. It's going to say, here are the queries that I need to run on the data set to be able to answer this question. It crawls through the databases, returning your answer, combining thousands of data points into a report. Right here, you're seeing that you can set up these reports to run regularly. So every day you check your email inbox, you have your new report from Argus Social. You don't even have to log into the product if you're short on time. Right now we're putting a lot of focus on report generation, some really exciting developments with it because we know how much of a game changer it is for saving time, getting this data, and supplying you with the insights you need. So if you'd like to learn more about the product, we are on the floor in the back. Happy to answer any questions and talk more about Argus Social. Thank you.